What do I say?
You always yell, and
Hey!
I was gonna say it's always really loud on the mic.
Hello, podcasting listeners. Welcome back to Death by Podcast, the ultimate everything podcast, maybe horror movie and otherwise. I am your host, Adam. That's your other host,
Kevin.
We are back. This is episode 65, Kevin, and this is first episode of season 3. So how about that?
Yeah.
Crazy, right? We had a little bit of a hiatus for new listeners, and we're back with the new show. And for those who know us, and for those who don't, we're strictly horror movies. As long as it's on VHS, we go through the alphabet, pick a movie for every letter, and talk shit about it. But we decided for season 3 to try something new, a little fresh, see if it works. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, we got a good foundation to fall back on. So what we're doing is we're just expanding our genres of film to talk about. And in order to pick one, we decided to leave that up to our Patreon supporters. So we're posting a poll every week over on our Patreon, patreon.com/deathbypodcast, where they get to vote and decide what genre we're going to talk about this week. And this week they decided, what did they decide? Sequels, right, Kevin?
Sequels, yes.
And so on top of that, yeah. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, yeah. So we did pick a sequel that began with the letter A that is on VHS.
Right. And Kevin has letter A this time around because I had A last season. Yep. And Kevin, tell them what you chose.
Addams Family Values.
Woo!
I'll tell you what, it was at first it was tough. It was like, there's no, I was like, I'm gonna have to pick Aliens, which, I like Aliens as much as the next, not as much as the next guy. People really love Aliens.
I didn't think about that was like,
I prefer the first one. Really? Yeah, I really had to dig, and it was almost Army of Darkness. For a while I flirted with like Air Bud 2, Golden Receiver. There were, I thought about Airplane 2.
Airplane 2?
Yeah, Airplane 2 has William Shatner and Pat Sajak.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you're saying all this stuff, and some of it's horror, some of it's not. And as far as the genres go that we've opened up ourselves outside of horror, we've got stuff like buddy movies, comedy, action. We're going to come up with new ones every week and post
the robot movies. I mean,
robots, creatures, whatever. And so as long as it's on VHS, it has to be on VHS. We're sticking with that.
Yeah.
But since we're
gonna broaden our, what we can talk about, basically.
Our fishnet stockings.
Yeah.
Want a date? So but with that, we're also still going through the alphabet, and sometimes it's tough just to find a horror movie that starts with the letter Z, or O. O is the tough one, right?
O is tough.
O is tough.
Yeah, it gets tough. There's a lot of, especially towards the end.
So we decided to broaden it out. And so, we got Addams Family Values on the Patreon for BoobTube TV, our second exclusive podcast. We decided to talk about Wednesday on Netflix, season 1, episode 1. So we did that already. So if you're listening to this, run over there on Patreon and join up, and you can listen to that podcast. Do you have, Kevin, any news that you want to talk about before we get into
a little bit of news.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt. Before we get into that, how have you been? Tell the listeners. They want to know.
Yeah, I've been good. I've been, same old,
Yeah.
His kids are a little older. They're, but
same
old.
Basically. You said one of them was like, earlier you said you stopped and you said one of them was walking towards the door, and that just sounded creepy, but it ended up being your wife, I guess, which might even be creepier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I heard something in the hallway. I thought it was my kid, but it was my wife.
Okay.
But it was one of them is gonna be 3 on Saturday, and then the other one is gonna be 2 in April. So
were either of them born with a mustache?
Nope. No. Nope.
All right.
That happens in this movie.
Yeah, it does happen. And then you also in the spirit of horror movies, you cut your hand pretty good the other day, and you
Yeah,
showed me.
yeah.
Yeah, you got your stitches out though, but it looked pretty gruesome with the stitches in.
It was bad. I got 8 stitches. I was working on a diorama, and yeah, they let the X-Acto knife go in the wrong spot and just sliced my, yeah, real bad. So, but it's almost all healed up.
It's
It's
crazy.
been 2 weeks now, and I mean, it still looks kind of gnarly, but it's,
Yeah. Are you gonna have
stitch.
like a cool scar permanently? It's gonna be there.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
We'll
it's
see.
not really in a place that people look at, but who cares? Scars are cool.
Yeah.
You got a shitload of scars anyway, right?
Yeah, I got a bunch.
Yeah. I do that every day, but not to that extent. I always like jab, with the
Yeah, I
X-Acto
poked
knife.
myself with it a bunch of times, but I mean, I sliced my nostril off one
Yeah.
time, when I was working at Best Buy.
Yeah. You told me about that.
Yeah, it was no good.
That's where you started to hate imagination. Um,
Yep.
what else? I don't know if I want to talk about myself. Uh, nothing. Oh, you know what? I will say this. Yeah, it's just been more of the same, like with me. However, I did get. I don't know if you saw this. I think you did. A three-legged cat. I got a three-legged cat.
Well, when I
See that?
talked to you last, you were like, I think I might have to
Oh
take in this
yeah,
three-legged cat, and I did. So you did? Yeah.
yeah. So it's weird. Like I grew up with cats. However, I have asthma and allergies. I use an inhaler when I need to. But it's weird. Like I haven't used it once with this cat. And like before she got here, like I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I'd use my inhaler from time to time, but I haven't used it once. It's bizarre. It's almost like she took my asthma away or something. Like cat's eye, dude. Maybe that's what's happening when I'm sleeping. She's getting up on my chest and sucking out the goblin asthma. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, could be.
It's weird. Or she
Not
killed. Maybe the reason I have asthma is
because she.
because there was a goblin sucking on me or something, and she killed it when she got in here.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds legit. You should. Yeah,
Cause
that's.
she like spends the whole day sleeping and gets up at like 1 a.m. and just runs around. So maybe that's what's happening. I'm gonna have to check it out, dude. Get some night vision
Yeah.
going on. So that's like the newest thing with me. She's an awesome cat. Are you a cat person at all?
Not really. I had a cat by mistake. I accidentally adopted a cat for
That's cool.
like a year. Yeah, I was drunk at a bar that I used to hang out at, and this other local, like, barfly was like, I have to go to work and I have this box of kittens. I don't know what to do. Or I have this kitten. I don't know what to do with it. And this says, and no, it was just one. And I was drunk, and it was like 2 in the afternoon. This is like 12 years ago. And I was like, I'll take him. And I was like, I hung out with this cat all day and whatever. Then the next morning I woke up at my house, and the girl was banging on my apartment door and came by, and she had a box of like cat stuff and like kittens. I think I had the cat at my house. I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. I can't take this cat. And she was like, what do you mean? You said you'd take it. I'm like, I was shit face, man. And then I went up. Yeah, I had a cat for like a year. It
Yeah.
was a terrible cat. Yeah. It was yeah, his name was Winston. But it was
Like Ghostbusters, Winston?
yeah, but it was I mean, it liked me, but it fucking everybody else hated it.
What happened to
And I
it?
was I don't even remember.
You don't remember? Did
I
you
don't
like grind it into juice or like
know. I gave it away.
okay.
I think. Yeah, I think I gave it away because I had to move out of that apartment, and my
Yeah.
dad's allergic to cats.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and I didn't. Yeah, I
That's
think I
cool.
gave it. I think I gave it to a friend of mine.
To who? Oh, Franny.
Yeah, but I don't know. I should ask him whatever happened to
Yeah,
that
find out, man. Jeez. It's ridiculous.
cat. I'm
Um,
not. I'm not a big animal person.
yeah, I know. You're barely like a kid person. I'm surprised. I'm surprised your kids are still you didn't
I mean,
give
yeah.
them away or something. Yeah, so anyway, new cat, 3 legs. She's awesome. Watching her walk around is bizarre. And like she still does that catch scratch pull with one arm. It's weird to watch
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah. But she's a sweetheart. Anyway, her name's Mother Fluffer. Yeah, Mother Fluffer. She came to me with that name.
Great. That sucks. I mean, I'm sure that's great, but it's a good name. But I have a thing with even with humans that names with too many syllables.
Yeah, like I just call her Fluff.
Okay, yeah, because I can't
So
like
yeah,
if I meet someone like named like I don't know
Exabular.
like Mary Beth. If I met someone like that,
Yeah, I'm not calling you Mary Beth.
I would cut someone out of my life. There's too many syllables.
I'm gonna call you, I don't know, Maybeth instead of Mary Beth. Take out one of those syllables.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. Um, all right. You said you had some news, something you wanted to talk about, some kind of topic,
Oh, I don't like.
something.
This
Because we
just
don't have
came
any
out
Rob
today.
Zombie to talk shit about, man.
Not really. I mean, he's still posting, but it's just mostly like I'm going on tour and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Why don't you
Uh,
guys, the listeners, we need someone new to pick on. Why don't you guys on Instagram or wherever you find us, shoot us a little note, comment, let us know who our new victim is. Seth Green is not off the hook, by the way, um but we need somebody else to watch.
he
Like
was just in a movie. Oh yeah, I was watching an old Bette Midler movie with Lind, and he was like in it. He's like 8 years old in it.
ugh, 8 years old. It's probably he looked the same, right?
Yeah, I think so. She was like, you know who that is? I'm like, oh yeah, it's Seth Green, I guess. And yeah, the premise of this movie was nuts. Like so much so that I was like, this doesn't. She's like, I'm watching this movie my whole life. At least it's one of her favorite movies. And
Was it Beaches or something?
no, it was Big Business.
Big Business
And
is, oh, Lily Tomlin.
yeah, have you
I
seen
think I
this?
like that movie. I think.
I've never seen it, but just when Lindsay was laying down the premise, she's like,
Yeah.
no, they're twins that were separate. They're two sets of twins
Yeah.
that were separated at birth
Yeah.
that have the exact same names. So do I have this right? They switch places. Like one is like one is ritzy and in the city, and one is the one set is the hillbillies,
Yeah. I think
and
right.
they switch places, but don't like not on purpose. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think weren't they
I
switched at,
didn't.
at birth? Like the
Yeah.
and
Well, one of them was
they still
switched at
claim to be
birth.
twins, but they don't look anything alike.
Yeah, they're what it is they're identical twins, but one of them gets switched out so that they think they're fraternal twins. Like they're
Okay.
two separate. They're like I guess they're not actually sisters then.
Interesting. So they're like
I
cousins?
no, they would be
No,
like
they're
if
sisters. They're
you
twin
if
sisters.
no, if you had twins
Yeah.
and I had twins and they
Yeah.
were in the hospital
Yeah.
and then I took who cares? Let's not. This is what I was doing the other night, where I'm like, wait, what is it?
So
I'm sure
you didn't watch it?
I didn't know, but I'm sure it's good.
It is good. I haven't seen it.
Lynn says good taste. Like she doesn't like stupid movies, but it's
She doesn't, but she also there's movies that she doesn't like that are good, right?
sure, yeah,
Right.
yeah. I would say, but yeah, yeah.
Well,
I'm sure it's good.
if you get a chance, you should watch it because I haven't seen it in probably 20 plus years, but I remember liking it, and it's like
It
a
seemed fun.
1986 or 87 movie.
Yeah, it seemed fun. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, it
yeah.
is fun. It's fun. It's got a good poster. Yeah. It's one of those. Do you remember Drew Struzan?
I don't think it's Drew. I mean, not the one I've seen. I've seen the DVD cover because we
Isn't
have
that
the
the guy that
DVD.
I'm thinking? The Star
Yeah,
Wars
you're
guy?
thinking it's Drew Struzan, but I don't. Did he
I
do
think
it
he
or
did the
like
poster.
is it
Yeah,
like a Drew Struzan type poster?
yeah. It's like a drawing, but it looks like real, like Indiana Jones style. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think
Those were big in the 80s, like Animal House. Well, Animal
yeah,
House has the thing where they're like big heads and
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but I'll have to look that up. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look into it because
yeah,
those were a lot more common
yeah.
back then. The
Big
drawn
time.
posters. The Muppet movie one is really might be I don't know if it's my favorite Drew Struzan, but it's up there.
Phenomenal, dude. I rewatched recently. Well, okay. You let's do your news first, and then we'll do what would you watch? What was your
Um,
news? What was your news?
it's not crazy. They're doing another. I know what you did last summer, and they're bringing back Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr.
No shit.
Yeah, which is stupid. Like
Huh.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
What's the
and
thing?
this new Scream movie, I was into it until I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
And the trailer, this is why it's dumb. Like legacy shit in the Scream movies is dumb because it's not like it's the same guy. It's just a guy. You know what I mean?
Copycat.
Like at this point, there's a part where she basically like one of the characters goes to like a Scream museum or Ghostface like museum basically, and they have like an you know how they have Iron Man suits on display. They have that with like all like, everybody that's worn one, right? And it's like, yeah,
Wouldn't
but
it
they're
be
not.
all the Ghostface
Yeah,
costumes?
it's all the Ghostface
But
costumes.
wouldn't
Is
it
what I
just be
mean.
the same? It's the
Yeah,
same costume.
there's like seven of them. Yeah, like lined up, or like 10 of them or 12 of them because there's
It's the same
been two.
fucking costume.
Right. But what I mean is there's no like this isn't like a special thing. He's just killing people and like calling them. It's I mean I guess it's a copycat thing, but like it's just so stupid. Like
Yeah,
if one of them wore like a you know what if one of them wore a hockey mask? Is it still like
yeah.
the same thing? It's so dumb. It's not. If it were the same guy, it'd be one thing. Or like I don't know.
What was the killer? And I know what you did last summer. Was it a raincoat guy?
Yeah, it was like a guy in a raincoat with a hook hand.
Oh, okay. I think it's like I haven't seen Jennifer Love Hewitt in years, but I think it's even weirder that Freddie Prinze Jr. is coming back, isn't it?
He's been doing stuff. He's actually pretty active.
I mean, he was
Um,
he was Kanan in Rebels for 3 years.
yeah, I was gonna say he does a lot of voice work.
Yeah,
Um,
he's got a good voice. He's a little weirdo, though. He's a weirdo.
anytime I've seen him on a podcast, though, it's always like one of those like Shia LaBeouf things where it's like, oh, this guy's cool. I like this
Yeah,
guy.
but he's also a weirdo. Like he went on this rant about Star Wars fans and like was a real dick about it. Just he
Oh,
seems kind
I
of
want to watch that.
he seems immature, and I think it was on your boy's show, Rogan. I'm pretty sure it was on Joe Rogan's show.
Really?
Yeah, because
Oh,
they're bros, like they're like both tough guys. They think they're tough guys. They're like wrestlers or whatever, and ninja fighters or something. Whatever the fuck. Go fuck yourself, Joe Rogan. But yeah, like I think they're both like just bros. They
I'm
still
gonna have
live
to
in a
check that out.
they still
I
live in a
feel like I've been into
fraternity
that.
or something. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, I think it's weird that he's coming back for this. It's kind of desperate, but that's cool. I'll watch it.
Well, it's like with any of these though. Like they call up. What do we just watch? Where it was like they're bringing back. They bring back if they can get you know David Arquette or they all these are like this where it's like it's almost exploitive to like bring back like I mean episode 8 where it's like I mean Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker of course like bring him back but
Right.
like almost like yeah we're gonna throw a bunch of money at you guys and you know what I mean like I
Sure.
almost wish
But
like
with like
somebody like
with David Arquette, you could argue that the Scream movies never really ended. Like they've kept going. Whereas I know what you did with last summer. When was the last one of those? Like 20 years ago or something.
yeah there was only 2 with Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jared Leto Hewitt. I don't know if they ever did like straight DVD stuff. I think there is a technically like a third one that doesn't have
Really?
anything to do with it. But yeah, like the second one is them again, and they're at like they're got like Jack Black's in it, and
Jack
like
Black's in it. Weird.
yeah, he plays like
It take place in a McDonald's.
no, it's at like a resort. I think it's in Jamaica, or like
It's the
it's
worst
in
setting for.
yeah, it's not good. I remember seeing it in theaters.
I mean, the first one wasn't. I don't remember it being that
It wasn't great. I saw it like 1,000 times though.
great soundtrack. Great soundtrack.
Yeah, I
There's a
don't
bunch of
remember,
like weird metal. I don't know. At the time, I remember it being awesome. I remember
but
there's a
yeah,
cover of "Summer Breeze" by Typo Negative. It's like
wow,
"Summer Breeze." Yeah, it's all
deep
like
cut, man.
yeah, it's weird. Well, that's cool. You looking forward to that?
No, I don't care.
All right, we'll probably do like we'll watch the first three and do a show for that, and then we'll watch the new one when it comes out.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would. I mean,
give us something to
yeah,
talk about, something to shit on. That'd be good. You mentioned with the Scream movie, I'm looking forward to the Scream movie because it takes place in New York. That's the only reason I want to see
see,
it.
tell you what, the poster and just
Yeah,
that it took place in New York, I was like, I'm in. And then I saw the trailer, and I'm like, I'm back out.
six Scream, dude. I'm down.
It's man, that trailer looks like shit.
I haven't seen the trailer. I don't know if maybe I'll do one of your things and won't
And
watch
you
it.
know what? I don't even mind. The thing people are bitching about is that he uses a shotgun in the
Oh,
trailer.
really?
Yeah, but and that's what people are pissed about, and I don't care about that at all. Like, yeah, go for it. I don't, whatever. But like, it just looks like so, like, I don't know. Like
The
Courtney Cox is like, you're doing this
Ugh,
again. Like this
jeez.
is the 10th time. Like just
Yeah,
like, yeah, guy. When you point it out, we
it's
still
dumb. Yeah,
it's not. Yeah,
it's not clever.
the
They need
fact
to
that
stop
yeah,
trying to be clever and just do a Scream movie. Just kill people and have good actors. I don't know. The first movie is a classic and will never be beaten and will always be great because I don't know why. Like they captured like for me they captured like the essence of the time that it came out, 96. It was like it's a very 90s movie and Wes Craven, I don't know.
yeah. I thought two was pretty good too. And
I don't
I
remember
thought it fell
two.
off at three.
I don't remember
Two's
anything
good.
after one.
Two's good.
Um
Um,
yeah, that's
yeah.
cool.
Scream goes to college, or
Scream Goes to
Ghostface
College.
goes to
That's right.
college.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that. What else? What'd you watch? Did you watch anything? Don't tell me about if you watched Beaches. I don't want to hear that.
No,
But anything else?
no, I've been watching a lot of Ken Burns documentaries. You know what I did watch, man? And I know
Yeah.
you didn't watch it. The Menu. I
Oh
think
yeah.
you might like. Okay, so the Menu,
Everybody
while it was
loves it.
going on, here's the thing. The whole time I'm like engaged, like I'm like into it more so than I've been in. Like the whole movie is very entertaining. I am into what's going on, right? And then the end happens, and I'm like, was that whole movie just really stupid? Like
Uh,
it was like, and it's not a bad ending, but it might be. And I'm just like, I think that might be dumb, but it doesn't feel it. I don't know. The whole thing was like, I don't know if the whole movie, it's one of those movies where like, it's a lot of fun, but if you like pull on a thread a little bit, it like
yeah.
falls apart and doesn't make any sense. But like while you're in it, it's a lot of fun. Like, and some of the characters are really great. Like, but other ones, like, I don't know. I'm real conflicted about it, but it was enjoyable. And thinking about it has been fun. You know what I mean? Like,
I
you know,
heard Ray Fiennes is based on Gordon Ramsay.
kind of. I mean, he seems like Gordon Ramsay. He's not screaming at people. He's just kind of a lunatic,
Yeah.
but he's not like, yeah. And it's a little bit like, that's the thing. It's kind of up its own ass.
Yeah.
And like, it kind of feels like it has like, it's trying to make a point, and then at the end, it's like, was that the point? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, but it's definitely worth seeing because it's,
I just
you
want to
know,
watch it for Anya Taylor Joy.
see, and she didn't do it for me.
Really?
But yeah,
I love her. She's awesome.
but Nicholas Hoult is in it, and he's great. It's
Really,
worth
dude?
watching. Yeah, he's great. He
Have you liked
plays.
him in the past?
I haven't disliked him. Like he's always okay, but like he
I don't like
he
him.
plays this character that's just like the word. Yeah, you ever watch a movie and the character is terrible, and you're like, oh fuck, like I identify with this guy, but he's the worst.
Oh, I see
You
what you're
know,
saying.
like it's
I
like,
don't
oh,
know because I'm
I
pretty cool.
like,
So
yeah, but like I've been that guy, I bet, and like,
yeah,
I
no,
mean,
no,
never
just
to
talking
this, but
about.
you know what I mean. I
Yeah,
think that's why Get Out is so popular. Not so Get Out, not so popular. I think Get Out's really good, but I
yeah,
think that's why I think it's overpraised. I think because instead of, I think people see like how the parents act in that movie, and they kind of see, oh shit, I've done that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And instead of like, and they're uncomfortable, so they're just like, what incredible, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's, they overpraise how the movie itself.
Sure.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people really really love it. I don't know.
There was something that I just we were just talking about, and I was like, oh, I'll save that I watched, but I can't remember what it was now, and I don't remember what we were talking about. So everything I just said is pointless. But um, I did watch. I don't know if I told you this. Violent Night, the David Harbour Santa Claus
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
What a pile of
Was
shit,
it?
man!
Yeah, wasn't that
Like
good?
all the hype. I don't know what the hype because it's like it's such an easy premise, such a simple. Santa Claus is delivering presents, and he goes to a house where there's a robbery, basically a home invasion. And it's like all you need to do is have David Harbour smashing heads. And instead, like literally half the movie is him talking on a walkie-talkie to the little girl whose family is trapped in there. And I'm like, it's just what is this? It's garbage. Harbour was good. He's always good, but
Mhm.
and Leguizamo was in it. I don't know. It's just a waste. And the parts that were like actiony violent were like ultra violent. So it's like, why are we doing this kid thing? Like the kid thing is huge in this movie. Like, yeah, it's just dumb. Definitely way overhyped.
See, I that was the thing with that was I saw that it was out and I was like, you know what? If people start flipping out about it, I'll check it out. But if
Yeah,
not, I have no
I think they
interest. And
were though. I think
I
people have been
didn't hear
loving it.
anything. I didn't hear anything good or bad about it. People, you know what I mean? Like
I think it's
it
just
was.
like a bunch of bros going like, "Oh, Santa Claus is kicking butt. We got what? Get out of here. You're a weirdo." Um, since we are broadening our horizons, I do want to say I watched Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Damn
also saw
good,
that.
dude. I didn't like the first one. I love Boseman as Black Panther, like Civil War and Endgame, and but I didn't like the first Black Panther movie. This movie is like holds up to all the hype. And I'm glad I waited. Like I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it just now on Disney Plus. It's damn good. Like it deserves every nomination it's gotten. I've never thought I'd say like, yeah, Angela Bassett deserves this award. She's amazing in it. Everybody.
She was good.
Did you
I
watch it?
was the opposite. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I saw it in theaters. And I really liked the first one a lot. I
Really?
was yeah, I really love the first one.
Even though it's a
But
garbage movie, you liked it?
yeah. I mean, I really liked it. It was the only thing the big fight scene that
Yeah,
like
the cartoon. It's
the CGI kind of sucks at the end. It was kind of rough, but like besides that, I really like
the characters were great.
he's my favorite
Andy
villain.
Serkis and Killmonger were awesome in that movie.
Yeah,
But the movie as a whole, I'm saying.
I dug it. I liked it a lot. I liked I liked it way more than I expected to. But I really liked it. This one I didn't hate it. I just I couldn't find myself I'm glad I saw it and like I thought it was fine, but I'm never gonna watch it again. And
Really?
I didn't like Namor, and Namor I like Namor in the comics a lot, and I was bummed that I
You
don't
were
know.
upset that he wasn't an old white man. That's what you were upset about.
I wanted him to be. I don't care that he's not white. I wanted him to be like. I wanted him to ooze sexuality. Like I wanted him to be like, you know what I mean?
You think that's how he is in the comics? You think that's how he is in the comics?
I put it this way. I think that Sue Storm is she's, she's straight as an arrow. She fucking loves her husband,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
she's a loyal wife. But then this guy comes around. She's like, maybe, like,
But
okay.
that's because of he have like ocean juice that he exudes or like
I don't know. I don't know anything about the ocean
secretes.
juice, but I'm saying he should have been. You know what he should have been like? Maybe not Jamie Lannister, but like I want him to be a guy that you're
I could see
like.
that. I could see
I
that.
want, but I want what I mean by that is like I want to hate this guy. Like I
Yeah,
want to be like what a self-centered
totally.
like just
Ego, ego.
ego like through the roof, and then like grow to like him. You know what I mean? Like I want to hate him and then have him come back and save everybody's ass. Like
Yeah,
because that's
or
anymore in
just
the comics. You never know
yeah.
when he shows up. You don't know. Is this good or bad? Like what? Dude, he's been around for 60 years. He's still like a total wild card.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think they could have done that with this actor, but they didn't. And I think it's a big misstep to leave out the possibility that he fought with Captain America as an invader in World War II. I think that's a huge misstep because that's more stories you could tell with this guy. But you can't with this version of Namor. That's not
Yeah.
possible.
I didn't
Not
like his mustache. I thought that was a bummer.
possible.
That mustache belonged on. I don't know. It belonged on like a state trooper, and I don't want Namor having a mustache like that. Like it was just,
Yeah.
what do you
I
do?
wasn't
Like I
wild
want,
about I wasn't wild about Namor, but the rest of the movie as a whole I really liked. I didn't
yeah,
think I was going to get into Shuri. I didn't think that she could hold her own as as a lead or as like the new hero. I didn't mind her, but she was really her motivations were great, and I'm glad they held it until the very end. Like, you know,
Yeah.
um, I don't.
Well,
What's
I
up with what's up with Marvel? Like, you know how like Avengers Assemble is Captain America's like war cry.
mhm.
Why? And then Imperious Rex, he whispered it in this movie. It's like, why are they? Why is Marvel so afraid to let these guys like be comic book characters? You know?
I don't know. I mean, I remember the days when it was like, hey, we can't put the X-Men in costumes because Fox is still doing that, like,
Sure.
or not anymore, but like, up until the last X-Men movie, they still wouldn't put them
We're
in
gonna
their
get
fucking
costumes, man.
costumes.
We're gonna get costumes.
Yeah, like, I mean, I remember like literally making jokes about like, no, we got to put them in motorcycle suits because otherwise it's stupid. Like,
Yeah,
so yeah, like I'm still psyched on that, but
yeah,
it, you know we, yeah, I thought that was okay.
yeah.
I don't know. That didn't bother me.
I think it would have been really cool. I guess it doesn't work with this version of Namor, but if it was an old white dude and he yelled Imperious Rex, that would have been cool. With this version of him, I guess it doesn't. It's fine
I
how
mean,
it
that's
works.
not even he could have done it and it would have been fine. Like, I don't even think it would have been out of place. I mean, but I didn't
Yeah,
notice it. It was, but he is, yeah. That you're right. I think they still could do it with this actor, but
yeah,
yeah. And I also didn't love Atlantis. I thought Atlantis was kind of a dud.
yeah. Big, especially when you look at Aquaman,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
like,
Like,
and what they did with that, like this, especially, dude. I love the addition to the Aztec history and
sure.
that it went back to that. But the Aztecs are known for being these like engineers,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
wanted a city,
And then we
man,
see yeah, and then we see Atlantis, and it's like what? So what was that? That was weird. It was
And it's a
gross and
bummer.
dark and like
Yeah, it's a
I don't want to
bummer
live
that
there.
they can't call it Atlanta. I get that, like, oh, they just did it in Aquaman, but they're gonna dump that anyway next month. So it's like,
They can't do that because of DC.
well, DC. I mean, I assume that's the reason because
Uh,
they have Atlantis in DC already, but like
okay.
I mean, they're dumping that whole universe. You could still
Yeah.
call it, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I just thought we were past, calling, like, we can't call it the Cosmic Cube, we got to call it the Tesseract. Like, can't call it Atlantis, we got to call it,
Why can't they use cosmic? I mean, I know they don't use cosmic cube, but I didn't realize that they couldn't.
Well, they can. I think they were still in that.
Oh,
That
okay.
sounds too goofy and cartoony. We
Yeah.
can't call it that.
These sons of bitches.
But like, I thought we were past that. Like, Groot's around. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we can, we can do that now. And
Right.
like, they still like. But anyway, yeah. But I liked it. The ending. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Black Panther.
Right.
Too. But that the after credit scene with the kid.
I was going to bring this up. I wonder what you're going to say. Go ahead.
I think they're gonna do a beer fest,
Which is,
basically.
I don't know what that means.
Have you seen the movie Beer Fest?
No.
Okay. It's very funny. It's the guys that did Super Troopers. Basically these guys have a drinking team. Okay. And it's like a 5-man drinking team. And then halfway through the movie, one of the characters dies. And they're all like, what are we gonna do? Whatever. And they go to the guy's funeral, and his identical twin brother shows up. It's the same actor, and he goes, hey guys, and the character's name is Landfill, and he's like, I'm Landfill's twin brother, and he's like, they're like, we didn't know he had a twin brother. He's like, yep, and you know what? He's already told me all about you guys, and so we don't have to catch up at all, and it'll be fine. And he's like, you know what? Just to honor him, I think you guys should call me Landfill from now on. And they're like, yeah, let's do that. And like that, they do that, and I think that's what they're gonna do with this kid. I think there's gonna be some portal in some movie coming up, and he's gonna come out and be like, okay, I'm T'Challa now.
Did they
Because
say,
I
I
think,
forget what the line was. Did he say that he was T'Challa?
yeah, at the end they go, "What's his name?" And this is T'Challa. Like,
Well,
his name is T'Challa.
here's the thing. His name is Tosin. First he says, "My name is Tosin," and then he says T'Challa. And what I was gonna say about it, I was gonna like I give Marvel props because Tosin in the comics was just created like 6 months ago in the current Black Panther run, and
That's good news.
everybody went wild for the character because they thought that this was like a foreshadowing of what was going to happen in the movie before the movie
Yeah.
came out. And then the movie came out. I didn't see it until just now. And I thought it was cool that they included the character of Tosin, who in the comics, he's a little older. He's in his teens. But everybody's thinking that they're going to kill off T'Challa in the comics and have Tosin take his place, which they won't do. But in the movie, it looks like they're gonna, yeah, he'll,
Yeah.
next time we see that kid, he'll be older,
I'm
probably.
I'm surprised you're into that. I mean, if the comic is good, it's fine. But
Comic is great, yeah,
but it seems very much like, like what they did when they did Sam Jackson, Nick Fury in the comics, where they were just like,
yeah,
I mean, they literally did a fucking beer fest where
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
regular Nick Fury is going to live on the moon now,
Yep,
and you guys can just call me Nick Fury from
yeah,
now on.
yeah. That's
I'm
weird.
yeah, and but that's what it's when you tell me like, oh yeah, like the actor played Black Panther died, and then in the comics he had a son.
But in Beer
That's
Fest, didn't
now
you
gonna
say it
be
was the same actor?
yeah.
So they can't do that here.
No, but what I mean is like it's
Yeah,
just gonna be
yeah. Like I'm T'Challa. That would be weird if they did that. I thought that they were going to bring Killmonger back from a different universe
so did I. That's
where
what I
he's a
was
good
hoping
guy.
for.
That's what I was hoping for. Yeah.
I was hoping for that, or I was hoping they were gonna like I was hoping she was gonna go into some incubator room and he was gonna be in there in like a Darth Vader like chamber, and they've been keeping him alive.
But who would the actor be? Oh, you talking about Killmonger?
Yeah, Killmonger. Yeah,
Yeah, they could have done that. I don't know. I
yeah,
mean, I
that
just
would have
thought
been
that
awesome.
ultimately it would have ended up with Michael B. Jordan, and it would have to be a different version of him though, because he can't be the personality that he had in the first
See,
movie.
I completely was like, they fucked up. I thought when I saw Black Panther, I'm like, they fucked up killing him
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
he's the most complex villain they have.
Yeah,
And think about that. That would be amazing if,
yeah,
like, okay, like, hey, we got to go about the bloodline. That's the other thing that I kind of didn't like about this one is they kind of just throw all that shit, like all that stuff about like, oh, like we're gonna like anybody can challenge him.
yeah,
That just goes out the window now. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, imagine
Yeah.
if like that. What's the big guy's name? The big gorilla
M'Baku,
guy. Yeah, if
M'Baku.
M'Baku was like, "No, I'm going to challenge Suri, weighs 85
Yeah, yeah,
pounds." You know what I mean? Like, but nobody does that. And it's
yeah.
like, all right, I guess.
I really like.
But
I didn't like him in the first movie. I really liked him in
I
this.
loved him in this. I loved him in the first one too.
Winston Duke. What else has he been in?
It's not enough Black Panther. That was my one big another thing. I was like, wait, what? I want more of this
Yeah,
guy. Like
yeah.
this guy, where this guy
He's
should have
great.
been. What I'm surprised if he didn't have more to do in this, especially because
Yeah,
they lost the one actor.
yeah.
You
Manape
know,
in the comics. He's Manape M'Baku. But was he in? Was he in Us? The
I
Jordan
didn't
Peele?
see us.
Oh, okay.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
Winston Duke.
yeah. I really, I like Black Panther too, but yeah, I don't,
There was
I
something
kind of
about it that had a Star Wars vibe to it, and the music was phenomenal.
music was very good. The
Yeah.
visuals were very good. I mean, it was
I
it
just
it
learned.
it.
I just learned
it
today that the music is Ludwig Göransson, the guy who does Mandalorian.
oh, cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. It felt like it's like, and I don't know. I mean, and maybe it's why I didn't like it, but like it felt like if they did Iron Man 4 now and it was like John Favreau and Pepper and like it just being like, man, I wish Iron Man was around.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, and then at the end,
There's a
it's like Pepper
possibility they
becomes
could.
Iron Man, and it's like, great, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
They've got a situation on their hands where like you can't move forward without these core Avengers, and so they have to figure out. They have to James Bond it. They just have to James Bond it.
I don't think they will. I hope they don't, because it's what that's the coolest thing about the MCU to me. Even though like I'm not loving Phase 4, but like in the comics they never get an Act 3. You never get to see what happens to these people. They keep resetting it, and they get a million little act. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they never get to get old, and like this is neat that you get to do it, but yeah, I'm not. Phase 4 hasn't.
Phase 4 has not been good.
No, it's it's been really weak.
But
And Ant-Man I'm going to see Ant-Man. I already got tickets.
yeah,
And
dude, I was just gonna say, like with Wakanda and Ant-Man coming up, I think they're on the right track.
I'm already worried about Ant-Man because somebody put up a review
Don't
like,
say it.
look at okay,
Yeah, I don't want to hear
the
it.
review was good, but it was like not
Yeah,
the kind of review I like. I'm like,
yeah.
that sounds like you're making excuses.
Nah, I don't review reviews.
It was a yeah.
Kang's my favorite villain, and like I really like Jonathan Majors. So hopefully it'll do.
Yeah. I think hopefully they'll get their shit together. I don't know.
All right, man.
I'm
We've
excited
talked
for
too much about stuff
yeah.
that isn't horror. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's fine. It's our
I mean, Addams Family isn't horror really, but
yeah,
yeah,
it's
we can
not.
do it.
Um, but yeah, let's talk about this Addams Family movie that we said we were going to talk about. You good?
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah,
else
yeah,
you want to
yeah.
say?
No, no. It was almost Ace Ventura too, but
What Addams Family?
yeah,
Oh,
it
Ace.
was
Oh, the movie.
when I
Man,
was
I
picking it,
forgot about that.
it
What'd
was
you
a lot
say?
of fun. I picking it because it
Yeah,
was like, yeah, it wasn't any easier than when it's a horror movie, but it
right,
was like, all right, yeah,
right.
but it was going to be Ace Ventura or Army of Darkness, and it was this, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, man. But what do you think of this movie?
So, all
Or,
right, Addams
re-
Family Values. What were you
yeah,
gonna
I
say?
was gonna say, what is your where are you at with this version of the franchise?
I so I didn't like I said, like I've said this before. I didn't watch the black and white. I was watching the Munsters. So, um, I was aware of it, and especially what's the actor's name that played Gomez back in the day?
Way back in the day,
Way back in the day.
or
Yeah,
John Aston?
John Aston. So I was aware of that. You can't escape that guy's kooky eyes and all that shit.
That's
But
Sean Astin's dad, by the way.
what's that?
That's Sean Astin from Goonies and Lord of
Oh
the
no
Rings.
shit. That's his
That's
dad?
yeah,
That's Samwise Gamgee's dad?
yep.
They look nothing alike. That's crazy. Um so
Well,
anyway,
his mom's a potato. That's why he looks like that.
potatoes.
Yeah.
1993. I didn't really I saw the first one and I saw this one after I watched this time around. I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess I've seen this." But I haven't seen it since it came out. Um
Wow.
and yeah, I'm just not an Addams Family person. I enjoyed Wednesday a lot, the show, and that kind of like opened my brain to this and got me excited for it. 1993, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld.
Yep.
Well, the first one was also Sonnenfeld, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Um, Raul Julia, Angelica Houston, Christopher Lloyd, Carol Kane, Christina Ricci. Uh, what's that one say? Oh, Peter McNichol.
Yeah.
Tony Shalhoub, Nathan Lane. Like the cast is, and there's a bunch of other little. The cast is amazing.
Yeah. It's very well cast.
Yeah, and I liked it, man. Oh, Joan Cusack. I didn't say her.
Yeah.
I liked it. Like it was. I remembered watching these, and I know this version of Addams Family, and especially Christopher Lloyd. Like he's a gem.
Dude, he fucking murders it, man.
Yeah.
Like he's so good as as Fester. I went back, so I watched both the first and the second one like
Okay.
obsessively when I was a kid. This came out when I was 10. I mean, I saw them both in theaters, probably multiple times, but like I had them, I had recorded them off whatever HBO and watched them over and over again. But I hadn't seen them in a long time. I went and watched the first one within the last year because
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, how? Because the first one is, it's really good, but the premise of it is that Christopher Lloyd isn't actually Uncle Fester, and him and his mother are like they're like con artists, and they're
Is
trying
that
to
Carol Kane you're talking about?
no. In the first one, Fester's just a guy. He's
Oh, okay.
some random like weirdo, and his mother is like this like horrible lady
Okay.
who finds out that they're looking for like their Gomez's long lost brother, and they have a seance and all this shit, and then they show up and they're like, "Yep, it's him, it's your brother," but it's not the whole time. And I remember thinking like, wait, but is it actually him? Because you know what I mean? Like, how does that movie end then? Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I know it ends with like whatever, and they kind of just hand wave it so much so that like I went and watched the movie specifically to see that. Like,
Yeah.
wow, like is it actually Fester? Is it not? And they kind of say it is, but it kind of like, oh yeah, yeah, whatever. Like
Really?
that.
That's
I
how they.
don't remember. I
Oh,
don't remember what they actually say.
but didn't you
And
say that you just rewatched it?
I just rewatched it this year, and I don't remember it.
Oh,
That's how
okay.
much it's one line where it's like, yeah, it is actually the
Yeah.
real Fester, even though it doesn't make any sense
Sure.
that it is. But anyway,
Do you know what year that
uh,
movie was?
the first one, 91.
So that's literally right after Back to the Future 3.
Yeah,
He went right into this.
which is wild.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, and but he is so good as Fester. I mean,
Um,
everybody is so good in the. I mean,
everybody
Christina
is.
Ricci, it's a career making role too. Like she nails it.
It
You know,
is. Well, I mean, she's
in the
fine.
first one anyway. She's okay in this one. I mean, she's fine in it. Like she's good, but
She is
um,
like there's nothing wrong with her performance and her character and all that. But when you watch, that's what I loved about Wednesday, the show that I wish you could see is how that show shows you what the character of Wednesday could be. And it's almost like Christina Ricci from this movie. And then and then Wednesday is what she becomes. It's a really good like continuation. But this was I liked her in it. She was great. It's weird that Pugsley is a pointless character. In every iteration of the Addams family.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's episodes that focus on him a little more in the original show. I've never
Yeah.
really watched the original show.
Yeah.
And the cartoons that there's cartoons, there's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
That I haven't seen, but this was my Addams Family growing up, and
Yeah.
it was, yeah, man. And if you get a chance, you should rewatch the original. The original, that's the other thing is like, I remember them being pretty even, like as
Yeah.
a kid, being like, this one's just as good as the first one. It's not. I mean, it's not bad at all, but the first one is much better.
Really?
Yeah,
Because
the
I
first one.
actually I really enjoyed this. Where I could like
Yeah,
watching this one.
I think if you watch the first one, you'll like it better than this
All
one
right. Does
because
the
a lot
first
of
one
you know.
does the
Go
first
ahead.
one have does MC Hammer have a song in both movies?
I don't think so. I
Because
didn't
like
even.
there was a song I was expecting to hear at the when the credits rolled. That one, it's like live how I want to live, do what I want to do, Adams fan. And that wasn't the song that played. It was a different
That
one.
might be the first one. I mean, that was
Okay.
a thing in
Then
the
that means that
90s,
Mick
by the
Hammer
way.
had a song in both of these movies. It's weird.
I mean, it was that was remember that was like a thing in most a lot of these kind of movies, like
To
to
have
have
a
like
rap song
a
in it,
rap song about the
like
characters.
a pop
Like
rap song. Yeah.
Ninja Turtles had it twice. Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles had it in the first one,
What was the
and they
first
had
one?
I forget the name of the group. It's gonna drive me fucking
I mean, the
crazy. But
second one was Vanilla Ice.
yeah, the first one at the end had a song called
Oh
Turtle.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's an awesome song,
Oh,
actually.
it is. Yeah,
The Vanilla
I had
Ice
it.
one is badass too, and that was
Yeah,
my jam back in the day.
I remember being pissed off when I heard it was Vanilla Ice because I liked MC. I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, you couldn't like MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice. You had to choose one, at least
Well,
around here.
dude, I'm gonna send you pictures. Maybe I'll post them on Patreon. I didn't wear my first pair of jeans until my senior year in high school because from sixth grade all through junior high into high school, I had a pair of gold parachute
Parachute
pants
pants.
because I
That's
was
awesome.
obsessed with MC Hammer.
MC Hammer was the man. I definitely was way more in MC. I thought Vanilla Ice was so lame. And only because I liked MC Hammer.
Vanilla Ice was the man too. I see. I can
Oh,
do.
I
I can
hated.
like different things. I can like
Yeah,
both things at once.
I was a real idiot when I was a kid. That's why I don't like DC to this day. Like because I was just
Jesus
and I
Christ.
like Marvel. I can't like I'm surprised I like Spider-Man because back when I was a kid, I was like, I can't like Spider-Man, I like the X-Men.
It's messed up. It's messed up.
Like, yeah, that's how it is out here in the burbs.
Oh, the biggest thing in this movie, and also I'm gonna be going back and forth with Wednesday just because
Yeah, that's
it's a
fine.
good contrast. But I think the biggest thing here is like um Barry Sonnenfeld versus Tim Burton. Barry Sonnenfeld as like a director in the style, like
Mhm.
he I guess the earliest Sonnenfeld I remember is Men in Black. Is that
Okay.
right? That
Well, this his first one is the first Addams Family, and then
and then
he
Men in Black
did.
came after that.
Yeah, Men in Black. He did all three Men in Blacks, by the way.
So is he just intentionally aping Tim Burton's style, do you think, at this time period?
I think so, probably. I mean, he uses that does. I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't like because he uses the same font in this as he does Men in Black, and I think it's the Beetlejuice font,
Maybe.
like for the opening, not like the box
Yeah,
art.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I suppose.
And the beginning of Men in Black One,
Yeah.
like the entire opening credit sequence, it's lifted right from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, and
You know?
it's Danny Elfman. Is that the one where like there's a bug? We're following a bug or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And it's over the town and everything. I mean,
totally. I just noticed
I could have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
the whole movie. I was just like thinking that this was Tim Burton, and then I realized like no, it's Barry Sonnenfeld. And then when you watch, and then Barry Sonnenfeld went into like Get Shorty and kind of like went away from this style.
Hmm.
And then when you look at like Tim Burton, Tim Burton created this style of like quirky goth, I guess. I just
Yeah,
made that up. So hashtag quirky goth. Um, and then, and then he went into his Alice in Wonderland and dumb bullshit like that. It's just interesting when you watch Wednesday that Tim Burton came back around to his like quirky goth.
yeah, but I think he's more of a brand now than even a filmmaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's so it's so like when they announced he was doing Alice in Wonderland, it was just like that's so obvious. You know what I mean? Like that feels like it was picked by a CEO.
Obvious
You know what
to
I
have
mean?
Tim Burton do it, you mean?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it just and same with Addams Family. Like it was just
Yeah.
like yeah, put Tim Burton, and it was if I feel like if you were Tim Burton now in your 50s, wouldn't you if they asked you to the Addams Family, wouldn't you be like fuck off?
Well,
Like
that's what
I
I'm saying. But he is. He's doing that with Wednesday,
yeah,
which is weird
I
that it's weird that the Sonnenfeld movies of the 90s, which was arguably Tim Burton's peak,
yeah
were more Tim Burton than almost any, or at least as Tim Burton as Tim Burton was. And then, but it wasn't Tim Burton doing the movies. But now, present day, Tim Burton is doing the Addams Family IP property at least, and
yeah.
he's back to his old form. I don't know. It's an interesting arc of
I wonder how much involvement he actually. I mean, he directed the first episode, but
right.
that happens a lot. Where like Boardwalk Empire was like that, where they were like, "Oh, it's Martin Scorsese's show." Like he directed the pilot and was a executive producer, but that was it, really. Like, so I wonder how much because that's the other thing. Like the aesthetic, Wednesday looks cool and everything, but it's not. I wouldn't know it's Tim Burton. Like, there's no kooky trees or like weird. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like there's more. I feel like when it's Tim Burton, it's at 11. Like the quirkiness, the quirky gothic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
And
this is definitely toned down.
yeah,
Or I'm sorry, Wednesday is definitely toned down compared to um his normal fare. But then like that's why this being a Barry Sonnenfeld movie is to me so surprising, I guess, because he nailed it. And it's when you think about it, it's exactly what the Addams Family property needs, or at least at the time needed. And I think that's what I enjoyed about it so much because it's been so long since I've seen good Tim Burton stuff. And I have no idea what Barry Sonnenfeld has done in the last 20 years. What is he even still doing stuff?
he did Men in Black 3. Yeah, he did Wild Wild West, by the way, but
Yeah, but that
that
was
was
all like,
yeah. I mean, which is terrible. But
yeah, it is.
what was the no? He hasn't done a ton. I actually looked him up today, and yeah,
That's weird because that dude was like, he made some iconic movies.
yeah, in the 90s, like
Yeah.
he was rolling, man. But yeah, in the last like 5 years, I forget. But yeah, he kind of fell off. I think he's doing TV.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
what about, did I ask you this earlier? If any of your kids were born with mustaches?
yeah, he asked me that earlier, but no,
Okay.
they weren't. But yeah, I remember that like Yeah, here's the thing about this movie
Here's the thing.
that's
You
really
guys ready? Here's the thing.
no, that's really
This is
neat.
Kevin's famous segment. Here's the thing.
But like the mustache kind of is that like, but this way, like, okay, when you have to like juggle two tones, right? And they're two complete. We were talking about Thor earlier. Thor tries to juggle like this cancer storyline with like this goofy tone, and also like this other guy who's like avenging his dead daughter, like, and it doesn't work at all,
Right.
right?
Right.
But like this completely work. You know what I mean? Like
You're talking about
they
the summer camp and the Addams family.
no, just what I mean is just the like, hey, they spend the first half an hour of this movie like trying to kill a baby. You know what I mean? Like, like in real, like they put his head in a guillotine,
Yeah.
and it's like, but I mean, it works because it's a it's basically a cartoon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they do also like they blow up, and that's what's wild too is that at the end when they're all in the electric chairs, you still get the sense that like, okay, she's gonna kill everybody, but like everybody's been surviving.
Right.
They blow up a house and all this shit. Like seemingly nothing can kill these people, like, but it worked really well, like
That's an interesting point. Why is that? Do we know why that
I
is? Because
don't
these people aren't
know.
dead. It's not like they're not like the monsters where they're creatures, basically.
No, they're
These
just
are
weirdos.
these are
They're like
just
the
people.
monsters in that they're just weirdos. I mean, uh
Because like Uncle Fester walks out of, I mean, Uncle Fester arguably takes the most hits in this movie. He gets electrocuted, he blows up, and he's just totally fine. So like, I know it's just one of those things where it just is what it is. But
I mean, this came out the
I've
same. The
always been
first one
curious.
came out like around Home Alone, so maybe that's just where we were. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
just
it's
blowing people up.
basically Home Alone. Where
Yeah.
hey, you can take a brick to the face and you're fine. Like it's
That's
not.
oh man. I'm so glad you said that. I actually had that in my notes. At the end, when Joan Cusack um gets electrocuted, I thought they
Mhm.
really missed the opportunity because in Home Alone 2, when Marv gets electrocuted, that is one of the funniest scenes in that whole movie. And in this, they had a chance to like really capitalize on that with her. And it's just like there's no vocals, she doesn't say anything, or she doesn't make any
Mhm.
sound when she's doing it. And they show her, and then all of a sudden she turns into a pile of dust. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I don't know. I just thought that was a missed opportunity.
By the way, as an electrician, that's not how electricity works. There's,
This is Kevin's famous segment again, how
I mean,
electricity works.
it's one thing to like as a kid, I was like, oh yeah, definitely that way. Like, but this is the sequence of events. Like, she pulls the lever on she's got all the electric chairs set up. She pulls the lever to it. The current, you follow the current as it goes through the wire, and then the baby has cut the cord seemingly.
Is that what that is? I guess.
So he's cut the cord,
But then what does he hook it back
and then
up
he
to?
plugs it back in, and it goes in the reverse direction.
Oh, is that what we're seeing? Okay.
Yeah, he either plugs it back in or has another cord, but that
That's what
doesn't
I
work.
thought.
Yeah, but it
So that doesn't work.
that wouldn't work because no, it would it doesn't bounce back. That's
Yeah.
not what I mean. There is a thing called backfeed, but that's not what it is.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, it wouldn't it's not anyway.
I didn't know what was happening in that scene. Like, as far as like, I mean, I got the gist of, obviously it's not mind science, hashtag mind science, but like, um, I didn't know if it was, I was like, all right, he cut the cord and he's plugging it back into something different or something. I don't know. It was weird.
I mean, well, and like that was the thing. Like I mean, yeah. By that time, like I'm on board. She literally
Yeah,
had
totally.
a box of dynamite, and the
Yeah.
dynamite is all red. It's like Wile E. Coyote dynamite.
Oh, totally. Totally.
I mean,
This movie, one thing that I didn't like about this movie was I felt like it was really poorly edited. And so there were a lot of like jumps of acceptance, or there's a better phrase for that.
Yeah, it felt like rushed almost, you know.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, it's a good movie. It's hilarious in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Joan Cusack, I forgot she was in this, and I haven't seen this in 30 years. So, but it's so strange to find Joan Cusack attractive, right?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Just
Yeah,
yeah,
like that's a
I
weird
know what you
thing.
mean.
Yeah,
Sure.
but they did it. She's totally attractive in
Yeah,
this.
she is. And she's really good in it too. Like she
Yeah,
plays like an evil bitch really, really well.
yeah, she does it.
Um,
She's a good character.
but
But the movie
yeah.
has no plot until, like you said, like the first half hour is just killing a baby, and I was like, all right, what's the point? What is this movie going? Like, what's the point? And it doesn't really have a point other than it's very linear. It's just she just
It
wants
was
to kill husbands and get money. That's it.
yeah, and it was way thinner than I remember. Like I remember
What do you mean
it
thinner?
like it's there's not a ton going on there,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like the other one feels like the first one feels more like a fleshed out movie, and very much like, and this one's fine, but like the other one feels much more like a real movie. This one, I how do I put it? I don't know. It
You
just
said you liked the first one better. Is that what you said?
yeah, the first one is a better movie. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but this one, I like it a lot, and I think, but yeah, a lot of the stuff. Like I remember when I was a kid, the camp scene, the Indian scene,
Yeah.
like I loved it. Like I mean, as a 10-year-old, that was like the best thing ever because I didn't see it coming, and it was great. And this maybe it's because that was my favorite part. It didn't land as well for me this time, but it was
Uh,
also like
well,
I had seen it a million
I'm glad you
times.
brought that up because I had in my notes that scene. I thought it was very ahead of its time to point out the hypocrisy with the idea of Thanksgiving and the idea of pilgrims and the idea of Native Americans and the idea of just all of that, how it's celebrated, but it's like, well, we killed all these people, we gave them smallpox, we whatever, and like it's very conscious of that through Wednesday's narrative,
Yeah,
I guess. Um, I thought it was awesome. I actually I forgot about that scene completely, and I thought it was great because like, did she murder like a
that's the
bunch of
thing.
these
Like
kids? Like,
they kind of leave it open too. That
yeah,
like when they've got Janusz and the chick like on the
yeah,
barbecue,
that's what solidified it. I was like, oh, they're really killing these people. Like they're cooking.
but they leave it open enough that like
Ego.
that's the thing. Like here's the thing. Like that was, and it's not my problem with Wednesday, but like in Wednesday, I assume she's gonna try and solve a murder and everything.
Right.
But like the first scene, you see her throw a bunch of piranhas in and possibly murder these kids.
Right.
And it's like, okay, but like this one, she she's doing that, but it's not as like out, you know what I mean? Like you know what? This one had me laughing out loud at just the little like sharp lines when she goes like she calls Gomez a lady killer, and he's like acquitted, and then it's for like you know what I
Totally.
mean? Like
Totally.
but it's like it's that Luke Skywalker, or it's that droid slavery thing where it's
Uh-huh.
like if you want to shine a light on this, go ahead, but then you have to deal with what you're shining a light on. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole idea of introducing the droids are sentient
Yeah.
is like that's gonna fuck up droids because
Yeah.
now they're slaves and Luke owns droids.
Well, as if you
Like
look at taking your example, if you look at Star Wars franchise as a whole, they do go back and address that in Solo. Remember where she
well, that's what I
liberates
mean.
all
Is
the
that's
droids?
well, that's my problem. Is that it's never brought up. It's never brought up, and I'm totally fine with that. And then in Solo, that's when they bring it up, and
Uh,
it's like it's fun to talk about, but like if you actually have a character, like you have a droid yelling, "We're sentient,
yeah.
we have rights."
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's like, whoa, like okay,
Luke,
now
you're
let's
saying like
now we
Luke was a
now we have
slave
to
owner.
talk about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, now you guys put this on the table. Like
Right.
before, it was fun for me to dick around and talk with my friends about, but
Right.
now that it's actually a thing, like this is okay, like this is a franchise that people analyze two pieces.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know that. So
Well, And then, you know, to be fair, and this is something we talk about all the time on this podcast, because most of the movies we talk about are 80s, early 90s. And it was just movies, it was just different cultures of different times, literally almost different cultures. And in order to enjoy and not throw away all of our history in pop culture, you have to, like, Solo, you know, A New Hope was made in the late 70s. Solo was made in 2018. So Solo is doing that, what you're saying, because it was made at a time when that's what we do, is we talk about those things. Back in the day, it was like, oh, this is fun and goofy, whatever. It's kind of like what's going on with this movie, Addams Family, in 1993. If they, and now that they're revisiting it with Wednesday, the property anyway, I can't remember they if there's a similar scene, or if they, I don't think, I mean, they do, there's social things in Wednesday, but they don't do it like this. There's nothing, this is like big and blatant, and to me, saying like Barry Sonnenfeld saying like, we are aware of what bullshit this thing is that we do. And you know, the whole audience there for this play,
Mm-hmm.
the Thanksgiving play, is a bunch of dickhead
Yeah.
idiots, you know, parents. And um I just thought it was ahead of its time. I thought it was great, that it was cool to see. And I was like,
Oh, it was, yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Like you said, when we were kids watching this, we laughed and it was funny. And we were just like A New Hope. We were like, haha, those droids just got sold. We didn't think of it that way. And I doubt that our parents did either, watching either Star Wars or this, you know?
Well, yeah. With Star Wars, you don't think about it, and you're not supposed to, and
Right.
like
But
it's
now we
fine.
watch this. Now we watch this and go, oh, we take note of it, because it's like it was ahead of its time and they were doing something quasi positive by bringing it to light. I thought it was really interesting, really interesting.
Yeah, it was, and you know, it showed like, hey, she's smarter than everybody, as far as like, you know, she knows that, hey, this is bullshit. You have all this, you know. I think she calls them out that like this is actually historically inaccurate, and you know, like
Yeah.
like it's clearly just a vanity project. You don't actually give a shit about what you're you know, writing about. But
And I loved her examples that she gave of the difference between uh like the future for Native Americans
yeah,
in America versus the future for privileged white people or whatever. Like she mentions like, you're gonna go shift gears, or like
yeah,
use a gear shift in a car. We're gonna go live in like low income trailers.
yeah,
Like it was weird, the example she was giving, but it was like, oh, that's the kind of shit that we take for granted, that minorities or oppressed minorities or whatever don't get to do. They don't get to have a car where they shift gear or whatever it is. It's like, I don't know. It was cool. Yeah, I thought it was cool.
and it, you know what, it really did a really good job of like now, I guess I'm just used to now where like there's no like like when you kind of want to say something, or not even like, you know, there's no subtlety really in a lot of stuff anymore. And I just love the like when they go over all the other kids that are like going to be the Indians, and they're all the like outcasty kids, but like just the like how they're so inclusive of these kids, but they're still like, yeah, but you're in the back, you're not actually part of
Yeah.
this, but like, come on, like, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like like they're including them to feel better about themselves, rather
Uh-huh.
than like because they want, you know what I mean.
Right. Include them because of, for diversity's sake.
Right, it's,
Right.
yeah, like love the, I still, I think my favorite, I don't know if my favorite line, but one of and you got me when I was a kid, and it got me again, where she goes, I still don't know how to pronounce this. She's like, Jamel.
I wrote that down, dude.
Like
Jam.
it's the,
I love that. I was
like it's
like,
the
holy
easiest
shit,
name.
dude.
It's the, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And he
totally.
goes, and he says, I think it's Jamal, and she's like, whatever.
Yeah. I
It's
wrote that
so,
down because it was so, I forget that actress's name, but
I
she
do too. She was great
she
though.
was
Like,
I always remember her from The Grinch, Jim Carrey's Grinch, for some reason.
oh yeah, she looks like a who.
She was the hot who. But how what did you think about Janosch?
He's great. He's great in everything, man.
Yeah.
Giannis is fucking awesome.
Yeah. It was funny when I was before I watched it. And I was looking at the cast on Google or whatever. I was like, really, Peter McNichol's in this? And like, I couldn't remember his part. Like I said, I didn't remember hardly any of this movie, but I remembered seeing it. And so when they went to camp, I was like, holy shit. The way he's standing, it's like Ed Grimley. It's like it was hilarious.
I mean, yeah, I'm surprised I guess after this he did Ally McBeal and
Oh
was on
yeah.
that for however long that ran.
Was he on
Um,
ER too? Or no? Thinking of
no,
someone else.
no. I think you're thinking of, you might,
Oh,
I
I'm
don't think
thinking of
you're,
RoboCop.
yeah. Oh my God. I'm trying to blank on his name. He's one of the only people I follow on Twitter.
Really? Just him
Yeah.
and me. That's it.
Yeah. He's the best. By the way, he's my favorite character on ER, and it's the worst thing that happened on ER. The way they deal with his character.
But don't they
He
drop
could,
a helicopter on him or
yeah,
something?
he could have been a Jamie Lannister. It could have been like, hey, like he's the biggest piece of shit. He's the worst guy. Like
Yeah.
he's an asshole. But then they start to give him like some depth,
Yeah.
and like he loses his arm in a helicopter accident. Like he's basically the best surgeon like around, but he's a prick.
All right.
And then uh but he's the best surgeon. And
So he can be a
eh,
prick.
yeah, but then he loses his arm, but he still is the head of the department. But he has to deal with, first of
Not
all,
being able to be a surgeon.
he has to first he has to try to save his arm, and that keeps he's fighting that the whole time, and then he has to deal with like people who aren't as good as surgeons as him, but like he's over them, and it's a fucking really complex, cool thing. And then they just, and then like you start to see his humanity, and then they just say fuck it, and they drop a helicopter on him, and they make it into a joke. Like
Really?
they make it like he said some like homophobic shit on the show.
Yeah.
Again, he's not a likable guy,
Yeah.
but like they name like a gay and lesbian like wing of the hospital after him. Like they play his death as a joke, and it pisses me off because
Hmm.
he could have been great. Like
What are we talking
instead
about again?
ER, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's right.
Paul McCrane is the actor. I just
Paul
remembered.
McCrane. I would never have guessed that.
Paul McCrane.
Never
Yeah.
guessed that.
Yeah.
Did you catch the? I'm sure you did, but the cabin that they send the kids to for joy time or whatever to be happy,
Yeah.
and the one kid looks up and he's like he screams and it's a Michael
Michael Jackson.
Jackson poster. What do you
Yeah.
think that was about? Because this is 1993 and like
There's a section of this on IMDb where they talk about this.
really
Is yeah, because apparently he was supposed to have a song in the movie, and then
makes
they
sense.
didn't. And but I think like and the first like allegations came out like
Really?
2 months, yeah, like 2 months before this movie came out.
Really?
But yeah, so I think it was just good timing. I think
That's
it was
just a
more
joke.
just, I think the joke was just he's weird looking. Like I don't think it was
Oh, you don't think it was
I don't think it was
intentionally
intended.
timely?
No, but I think it wound up being that
Yeah,
because
that's what I
you know
took it as. But I didn't realize he was taking allegations way back then. I didn't realize that.
yeah,
'Cause he was
yeah,
still
there
hanging
were,
out with Macaulay Culkin back then on his
yeah,
lap. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, and doing
but
like
yeah,
that was like the peak Michael Jackson, 93, right? Through the
uh
90s, the 90s.
I would say peak was like mid 80s, but yeah,
Thriller, but
he was still on top of the world.
yeah. Like
This is, I
when
mean,
did Bad come out?
Bad's like 1986.
No. It's later than that, isn't it?
No, it might be earlier than
Yeah,
1986.
maybe it's not earlier, but maybe you're right. Like
Like
mid late
91
80s.
is like is the history of it, that's like black or white. Remember that?
91 is the
Yeah, that's like yeah, which was a cool video, but
totally. Are you
that's
black or white?
I feel like
Shimon.
that's like a peak, but like after that he kind of, well, then he had that Scream video with his sister.
Oh yeah. Well,
That was like
wasn't that later? I don't
that
know.
was like 95, maybe 96.
He's just
But
like,
that was it.
oh.
Yeah. He didn't.
What else, man? I feel like there was something. Why did I write this down? Something about a Buick. Nathan Lane. Oh, Nathan Lane's scene. I love that scene. He's
The
the
cop?
cop.
Yeah.
But I loved it because Nathan Lane was great. He was fine. he wasn't Nathan Lane at that time. He was just whoever. But Raul Julia in this scene is hilarious, I thought. You
Yeah.
know, where he's just like
Is-
talking nonsense, but like self-important nonsense, you know? And then
Yeah.
they like
It's
Raul
also fish out of
Julia,
water. It's real people responding to
right,
it too.
right,
Like
which was what I
they
was
work
talking
in a
about earlier.
vacuum. Yeah,
Totally.
they work when they're being weird in the house by themselves,
Right.
but it really works when they're like in a real police station. People are like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the first movie is that.
Okay. What, them being
Um,
a fish out of water or
both. It's
okay.
it's a lot of like, hey, we're doing our own thing, but it's also people. It's a lot more of regular people reacting
Okay.
to how weird they are.
I
You
didn't
know.
realize Raul Julia was as good as he was in this. He's
Oh,
amazing. He's great.
wait till you see the first one, man.
Yeah.
The first one yeah. I really hope you watch the first one.
Yeah, I will.
Uh,
I'll watch it.
but yeah, he was great. He's good in Street Fighter. I mean, he was
Oh,
the
he
man.
played M. Bison.
Yeah, which
Interesting.
was weird casting, but
What else was what is he? He's obviously not famous for fucking Street Fighter. So
no,
what
he's famous
else?
for these two and Street Fighter. That's all I know him from.
No, dude, Raul Julia is like a serious actor, like a
I'm sure he
Oscar.
was, but like as a 10-year-old, this was my shit. We
I
can look
gotta,
him up.
yeah, I'm
I
gonna look
don't
him
think
up.
I've
I
ever
gotta
seen him
know.
in anything else.
Let's see, Raul Julia. He was probably in like something like
Man, he died at like
Raul Julia.
55, man.
Yeah, he was really young.
He would have been great in like Clue. Like he would have been,
All right, so you got, of course, the top, the first three things are Addams Family and Street Fighter.
I
Kiss,
told you.
Kiss of the Spider Woman. That was a huge Oscar movie.
I
Presumed
remember that, but I've never seen it.
Presumed Innocent with Harrison Ford. Um, The Rookie, The Burning Season, Tequila Sunrise. Dude, all
These
kind
are
of,
all
he's
the
got a,
movie. Yeah,
but he was never like a main character. But
like a
he's
leading man.
when you look at the movies he was in though, I'm sure I'm missing something, and someone out there listening is going like, "What?" Um,
But
I mean,
those two roles though, Gomez and M Bison, are just like, hey man, chew the fuck out of the scenery, do
yeah,
whatever. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
this is your show. And like I said, the first one, I mean, he's like that in the second one, but he's got way more scenes in the second one. Like I would say he's the main character of the second one. And this
in the
one,
second one,
oh, I'm sorry, in the first
in
one.
the first one, yeah,
In the first one, I would say he's I mean, it's an ensemble, but he's the main.
yeah,
Um, whereas this one, yeah, he's kind of takes it backseat to the kids and Fester,
and
you
Fester,
know.
yeah. But
But I
but the
think
scenes
that's
that he's in, he's fucking awesome.
yeah, I think that's too because the he's great in the first one, but I think the big standout, like holy shit, are Christopher Lloyd and Christina Ricci in the first one,
Oh,
where it's
really?
like they nail it. Yeah, I mean, obviously Raul Ju everybody does, but did you notice this? Did you notice the lighting that they use on Morticia
Oh, yeah, on her eyes.
on her eyes? Yeah, I
Yeah,
never noticed that before, and
really.
it was neat. Yeah,
I want to say that because they don't do that in Wednesday. Um, so I want to say that was, I don't know if it was a carry. It wasn't a carryover from the show. So maybe that's a new, its own thing. But had they not done that, I think um, Morticia's character is the weakest link in all of this. And had they not done that, brought some sort of like visual dynamic to her character, I think she's a throwaway. I think the opposite is true in Wednesday. I think Catherine Zeta-Jones is amazing in that. But Angelica Houston is also a good cast for this, I guess.
she's again, she's in the first one a lot more,
Really.
and yeah, and it works a lot. And I wonder if the baby thing, I'll bet they only put that in because I bet it's the Back to the Future type situation where it's like that because that's the little stinger at the end of the first one. Is
Oh,
that
she's pregnant.
yeah, and
Okay.
it's just kind of like it's a one-off joke,
Okay.
but
Do they do like
yeah,
when she says she's like I'm pregnant? Do they do like a real fast zoom in camera on Raul Julia's face, like oh
no, he's all excited. She pulls out. I don't want to give away the gag, but she's like knitting something,
yeah
and she like shows him, and it's a thing and it has three legs,
yeah okay.
and he's like, and he's all excited. But like
So do you
when
think that
Well,
I'm sorry,
sorry,
go
I
ahead.
meant, but I meant when I said Back to the Future thing, I meant like they've said that like if they knew they were going to do a second one, they wouldn't like they wouldn't have done the same ending if they knew they had two and three.
It wouldn't have had, yeah, it wouldn't have had the third leg. So with that in
Well,
mind,
I mean, they wouldn't have done a kid because like with Back to the Future, they wouldn't have put Jennifer in the car. They wouldn't have done all this shit. They did it at the end because like, hey, this will be neat. We'll make the
yeah,
car fly. But then they do a second one, like fuck. Now we have
right,
to address we have to
right.
pick up where we left off. You know.
With that in mind about her sewing the thing and it has three legs, do you think that now in the second movie here, since the kid is basically looks like a regular kid, that the third leg thing is just because he has a giant wiener?
Maybe I don't know. They don't ever address that.
um, I might have to go on a Raul Julia
Yeah,
like kick. I'm looking at his stuff and I'm like, I'd like to watch some of that. A lot of good '80s movies.
they're all on VHS. So if you
Oh yeah.
land out, you know,
Oh
like
snap.
if it, yeah, we can
Yeah.
make that a category.
Raul Julia. Yeah. Um, I still don't know what I wrote down. Buick thing. Oh, that's what it was. Raul Julia. He goes, and he's talking about Fester, and he's like, and he
Oh, they
drives a
have,
Buick, and that's when Nathan Lane's like, arrest him. He's like, get him
yeah.
out of here. Uh, what else, man? It was cool to see Cousin It. I remember that from the show, from the black and white. Cousin It is not in Wednesday, and I was really looking forward to seeing that.
Well, Cousin It, I remember when I was a kid, my uncle took me to see both these movies. And I remember when they came out, like Cousin It was a big part of the marketing.
Yeah,
And people were like, holy shit. Like my parents, my grandparents, they were like, like they
yeah,
loved that. You know what I
because it's
mean?
so weird. It's the weirdest part of this whole thing.
I think it was because it was kind of a deep cut from the not a deep cut, but like he wasn't in every episode of the show. You
Sure.
know what I mean? He was on it, but it
Is
was a
he in?
bit of
Is
a
he in the first movie more?
yeah, but it's more he's not a he's in it,
Yeah,
but it is like when he shows up, it's like a fucking it's a bit of a oh and look it's fucking cousin
yeah,
you know what I mean? It feels like a look what we did.
yeah,
It's you know
yeah.
and
That's
they
awesome.
and when I started looking into the first one, they do that a lot. There's a lot of shit from the first one that like if you were an Addams Family guy, you'd be like they're putting that in it. Like wow, like you know it's man. I hope you yeah call me when you're done watching that first
Yeah, I
one
will.
because
The last one that I had that I wanted to mention was Carol Kane as the grandmother. Or whose mom is she?
so that's it's interesting.
Is she in the
Um,
first one?
yeah, she's in the first one.
Okay,
Uh, on the show, I don't know if she's Morticia's mom in the show, but I in the show, Fester is uh Morticia's uncle,
okay.
and then they changed it for these movies to make him
The brother.
Gomez's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but yeah, she's Morticia's mom in this movie
She's
anyway.
Morticia's mom. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Um, Amazing. Like Carol Kane's one of those actors who like I know you don't like her in Princess Bride, correct?
no. Yeah, I don't like her in Princess Bride, but
Yeah,
it's more her character
yeah.
because yeah that scene is amazing, and then she
It
comes
is
in and just
amazing.
fucks it up.
I think she's great in it. But Transylvania 65000, but all these like it's so weird like seeing this and knowing that she's in this and the first one, Princess Bride, Transylvania 65000, all these like goofy but awesome roles. But Carol Kane is like outside of that, she's known as like a pretty relatively serious actress. Um, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, maybe not though, because also fucking Scrooged. She's the fairy. She's
Yeah.
the ghost of
Well,
Christmas
she's
present.
got doesn't she have like improv like not Saturday Night Live, but like doesn't she have
Yeah, I think you're right.
uh SCTV or something like
Something.
Roots?
Maybe you're right.
Like
So maybe I've just pegged her wrong this whole time. Maybe it's my mom loves her. It's one of her favorite actresses, and I'm like, why? I'm curious. What?
I always like her because she's like she's got like just
Yeah,
character like to spare. She's just
yeah.
I really like her. Even when I don't like her, it's not her fault. Like I didn't like her in Transylvania 65000, but that's because like all of her scenes are exhausting. Like, you know,
But is that the same reason why you didn't like her in Princess Bride?
Well, no, I really like the Billy Crystal thing, and
Yeah.
as a kid, and I might like it now, but like as a kid, I remember really liking the whole shtick that they had going, and then just having his wife like come in and be like, and
Liar.
I'm a paid him, and it's like, oh, this sucks. Like I was really like, and maybe I would like it now, but
When was the last time you saw that
I
movie?
it's been a while. I should rewatch it.
Watch it. It's on Disney now. It's fucking great, man. It's
I watched the Iocane powder scene recently because Lynn's never seen
oh,
it, and
really?
I was yeah. I don't know that she'd like it. I think it's one of those ones
Really?
where yeah, I think it's one of those ones where if you missed it when you were a kid,
What
you're
is there not to
fucked.
like? It's a fairy tale. What?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I
This is what I was
wonder.
talking about earlier when you said that she had good taste. I don't know, man. If
She
she doesn't
just
like
hasn't
this,
seen it. She might. I don't know. I don't know. It would be
Princess Bride is
maybe.
dude, and
It's got
Christopher
that weird
Sarandon,
like it's got that weird like Mel Brooksy type humor too that
a little bit,
I love, but
but
I
not
love
as it's not nearly as like vulgar or
it's
childish.
it's
It's
like a
more,
hint. It's like it's just a little bit. It's like a spice, just a little bit of that Mel Brooks type shit. You know, like the six fingers and the Hey Abbott is maybe my favorite thing in that whole movie.
yeah, yeah,
You know, but that because that feels like it's out of Men in Tights.
yeah.
You know, the Hey
Such a
Abbott
good movie.
scene,
Such a good movie. Um,
and it did when that. Wait, is it? Yeah, it's that one where the priest says,
Marriage.
"No, like that every time." I get it. It's hysterical.
My dad used to say that all the time. That was like his
Marriage.
favorite thing. It's weird. Um, what else, man? I don't really have anything else. Did we
No,
cover it?
man, it's good. It's
It's
a good
good. I'm
movie.
glad it was a
You
good
know,
pick. It was a good pick.
you know,
Um, I'm looking. I just want to make sure. Yeah, Joan Cusack. Like she's great.
she was really good. She was really good.
Oh, another note that I had was just on the oh, just like a couple like on the side actors or whatever, the bit players. I don't know if you noticed one of the moms in the camp uh was BB from Frasier, his agent who'd resurfaced recently in Werewolf by Night. She was like the lead witch lady.
Oh,
Um, did you watch that?
I watched World by Night.
Yeah. She was the
I
one
didn't
who was like
notice
leading the
this chick.
ceremony. Anyway, she was in this. I was like, oh, that's homegirl.
You know who else? Uh, I really love. I think I have a man crush on this David Krumholtz. And it's been since this movie. Like
Who's
when I
he?
was a
Which
kid,
one is he?
he's Wednesday's like semi like love interest. Like he's the
Oh,
dorky kid. I love that actor. I will watch
really?
anything. I fucking he is like when he shows up and shit. I'm like, I love that actor,
Are
man.
you serious? The only thing I know him from is the Santa Claus trilogy with Tim Allen,
Yeah,
and he's only in
he's in the first
the
two. He's
first
not
two,
in.
but
He comes back in the
he's in the
show.
new
Yeah,
show, which is complete trash. The trilogy is great, but that show is trash. So when I saw him in this, man, he's got that like Seth Green going on where his head is the same as it is now, but it's on this little kid's body. It looked like Steve Rogers
yeah.
in Captain America.
He
It
had
was
the thing.
weird.
Like he's in this movie when I was a kid. They did a little bit after this called The Slums of Beverly Hills, and he had that thing for a long time where it's like, is this kid 20 or is he 11? Like
Yeah.
it was just like, but
That's a
I really,
really weird choice to have a man crush on that guy.
I follow him on Instagram, and
Is he one of the,
he
is he the only guy you follow on Twitter?
no he's but he does stuff. I tell you what, he's done some stuff like on the stage that I would if he ever I mean if he ever did a play in Chicago, I would go in a
Yeah.
heartbeat. He
I
wouldn't
could see
because
him as
he does
a,
this
a
Broadway.
play guy.
Some of this
Treading
stuff, man, is
treading the boards,
impressive.
isn't that what they say? Treading the boards?
I don't know. I've never heard
All
that,
the
but
dickheads say
maybe.
that.
But he, man, I've always been a big fan. I remember when he was on Numbers, it was a bummer because I'm like, I'm not gonna watch that show. But
I
he,
don't even
you
never
know,
heard of it.
it's like a CSI type
Don't tell
show,
me
but
about it. Yeah, don't tell me about
it's yeah, it's one of those shows.
it. Did you know the baby's name is Pubert?
Yeah, and it's funnier every time. Like when I was a kid,
What
I
is
was like,
that?
When you know what's funny that I think is Charles Addams, who created the Addams Family. That was the original name for Pugsley,
Oh,
and
really?
like the newspapers or whatever was doing the show. Not the because the show wasn't the first incarnation of. I think that it was either a cartoon or might have been a comic strip.
Really?
Yeah, but they with whatever it was told him like, no, that's gross. You can't name the kid
Really? At the
Pubert.
time? That's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyway,
Pubert. Like, what kind of
and
name is that?
it's funnier every time I see it. Like, and like when Gomez says it, like we named him Pew. Like he's so
Yeah, he's like, he owns it,
he
man.
he nails the name too.
Yeah,
Like he nails every line he has in this
he's
movie.
great.
He's so good, man.
What did he die of? Do we know? I just looked him up. I forgot to
I
check.
think it was cancer.
Yeah, god damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, solid movie, solid movie. I liked it. All right, so for next week, as we're doing new style, we're having Patreon. We're doing a poll on Patreon to pick the genre that we are going to talk about. And check out our Patreon for that poll. This week's poll for next week's movie is, drum roll, Kevin, horror.
Is it really?
So I think we had what did we have? Let me look. We had
I mean, there's plenty of B.
right. The horror, the genres were robots. The choices were robots, horror, cops, and rom-coms. And 67% wanted horror. So, which I don't blame them. We do it well. It's our best feature. And I have the letter B. And so, Kevin, the movie I chose for our letter B is Basket Case 2. And Kevin, you've been wanting I've been wanting to see this. You've been wanting me to see this since we did Basket Case. Was that last season or was it the season before?
It was. I think it was last season.
Last season.
Yeah.
So Basket Case 1 is one of the, as far as the movies we've watched, that's one of our best shows. I think it gave us so much to talk about. It's an awesome movie. It's a real, like, there's more to it than just like this gruesome thing in a basket. Like, so I have a feeling the second one won't be like that, but you swear by it regardless.
Best Case 2 is, I love it because it's,
don't say, let's, save it.
I'm curious on what you're going to think of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
because
love
the first one left me like with so many, if you really think about it, the first one leaves you with a lot of possibilities. And especially knowing that they made a sequel and me not having seen that, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? What could possibly happen? So I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad I got B this time around. I'm sure like I'll be kicking myself, like after I watch it, whatever. No. So next week, episode 66, look forward to Basket Case for the letter B. I'm going to put up a new poll for the following weeks.
Yeah.
C for, that's how we'll do it from now on. I'm going to put up a new poll for the letter C on Patreon. So if you all listening would like to vote in that, join our Patreon. $2 a month. I mean, what is that? It's in your couch. It's half of a coffee. And you get behind the scenes on the show. You get to vote in the poll, and you get our bonus mini podcast, BoobTube TV, which we change up every week, and it's always a surprise of what we watch. So look forward to that. Kevin, do you have anything else that I forgot, we forgot to cover for our big comeback extravaganza?
No.
I forgot to mention that Svengoolie is looking for the spawn of Svengoolie. And I sent in an audition tape. Definitely won't get picked. Have you watched recently to see, because he shows some of the tapes, some of the audition tapes during the commercial break and stuff. He'll show them.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of like crazy freak shows. And like, I didn't want to be that. So I just like, I was upbeat and positive, and I was like, hey, my name's Adam. I'm a podcaster. I know your show. You groomed me in horror and all this stuff. And you only get like 30 seconds, but I took a minute. And I don't know. We'll see.
You know, you never know.
Next week or this coming Saturday on Svengoolie, he's showing Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I know. I'm so excited. He's catching a little bit of shit for that.
Is he?
On Twitter, yeah. Like people
Fuck
are
that.
like, really? Like,
is it an R? I forget. Is it rated R?
No.
It should be, man. Don't you think?
No, I don't. But I'm not afraid of clowns. So it's, you know, to me, it's
just silly. Got some really gruesome
doesn't really
concept, dude. They're putting. We were coming. Joe, my brother, and we were driving back from the shop the other day, and I told him that Svengoolie was showing Killer Clowns, and he's never seen it. And I told him, I was like, dude, it's pretty messed up. Like these clowns, these grisly, weird, big-footed shoe chasing you through the woods clowns, like snatch up all the people in these cotton candy sacks and stick straws in them and drink them. Like, that's messed up, dude. That's messed up.
I guess. I mean, you know,
the scene with the cop where he's like puppeting him.
Yeah, but there's no blood. Not really. There's a little blood out of his.
Yeah,
man, what a movie
and stuff. Yeah,
I can't believe Joe hasn't seen that. That's fucking wild.
I'm gonna watch it on Svengoolie. I can't wait to see what he says. You know,
I am too. It's gonna be great.
And and I think, didn't you mention Invaders from Mars? So those are like the only two kind of like 80s movies that he's done in a long time. Usually it's like black and whites, which is
he'll do something from the 70s every once in a while too.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
I mean, when I started watching him, he was showing like not better stuff, but just like more edgy stuff, I guess. Anyway, Svengoolie, he's the man. All right, man. It is really good to be back in the coffin with you. That's weird, right?
Yeah.
If you want to find us, I mentioned the Patreon, patreon.com/deathbypodcast. Support the show directly. If you want to find us on social media, Instagram, Death by Podcast. We got a Twitter. Yeah, we'll tweet some stuff maybe. It's Death by Podcast or DBP Podcast, or I don't know what it is. Just look for us. Is that all our social media? We've got the YouTube, but I'm not sure what we're going to do with that this season. What else? Just time-wise. Yeah, we're going to keep it simple, but the shows are going to be better. Kevin is going to do, you're working on like a new special segment where you sing whatever the theme song is for the movie we're doing. So like this week it would have been Mick Hammer doing his whatever MC Hammer song that was. Next week it'll be the theme song to Basket Case 2, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Is that all you got?
That's all I got, yeah.
All right. I'm your host, Adam. It's your other host,
Kevin.
It's Miller time. Kevin?
Shut the fuck up.
Kevin, you did it. All right, we're out of here. Folks, thanks for listening. Glad to be back. Tune in next week and vote in the Patreon poll. We will talk to you soon. Adios.